Right, welcome back to the Mystery Meat channel, and we are talking about yesterday's game, Liverpool 3, Atletico Madrid 2. Um, as I said before, this is gonna have to stop at some point. These last minute goals are doing too much for my stress levels, and I'm getting more grey hairs by the days that are going by. Um, the way we started the game was absolutely filth. Like it took me by it caught me off guard because I wasn't even ready. I was live for this game, and when the first goal went, I was like, okay, fair enough, we got an early goal, and then within the next attack, we got a second, and Salah being Salah just demolished three of Atletico Madrid's best. Um, but then you think, what, we're 2-0 up after 5 minutes. There's a very, very good chance that we can go and score five or maybe six here. Like, what I mean? That should have been the mentality. And I don't know. I don't know why we decided just to sit back a little bit more after that. And Atletico Madrid were growing into the game. I mean, you knew it's Champions League, right? This isn't the Premier League, it's Champions League. So you go 2-0 up against a team, there's a very good chance that they're going to still be fighting and come back into the game. It's been happening in the Premier League as well. So Liverpool should have been aware of this and should have been going forward and trying to get another goal to seal off the game. But for some reason, we backed off a little bit and we found it difficult to break them down, even though we managed to break them down twice within the opening 6 minutes. Um, Obviously, Llorente, the man who just loves to score against Liverpool, I don't know what he's got against Liverpool. I don't know how he manages to get so many goals as well. Um, Scored just before the halftime whistle. Um, I thought Konate could have stuck a leg in. Llorente's touch was heavy as hell. The only thing that maybe saves Konate is the fact that it was in the box. And I think if he did try to stick a leg in and he did miss, it would have been a penalty. So I think that's probably the only reason why I can imagine he didn't step in to try making the ball. But other than that, I thought Konate was kind of at fault for the first, but it was a good finish. You can't take too much away from Llorente. Um, so that probably does change the halftime team talk a little bit because you're going into the halftime team talk at 2-1 as opposed to 2-0. But even in the second half, I didn't really see much from Liverpool, apart from that little one counter attack where Salah hit the post flush. I mean, I didn't really think Liverpool were like that in control of the game. And then, going down to the business end of the game, Atletico Madrid kept pushing and they got a bit of luck. As good a technique Llorente had on the volley, it was a clean hit, but I think Alisson saves it if that deflection didn't happen. Um, it was an unfortunate deflection. There's not really much anyone could have done. It literally just hit, I think, Alexis McAllister, and it went in. Like, it was unfortunate. It counts as Llorente's goal because it was pretty much on target, like I said. But I think Alisson would have saved it should it didn't take a deflection. But it was one of those where you gotta rate McAllister for trying to block the shot, but it was unfortunate and it was just hit him and it went looped over Allison. But Liverpool, as we've been doing for majority of the season, I mean, I say majority, it's been all of the season so far. In the last 10 minutes, we seem to come alive and try to find that last minute goal. And it comes from a corner kick where Van Dijk leaps and charges in front and powers down the header. Oblak, no chance. And Captain Fantastic makes it 3-2, meaning Liverpool do get the 3 points in the end. Um, and it's kind of fitting that our defender is the one that got the winning goal because I think our defense has been very, very below par for all of the season so far. Majority, I think Arsenal game and Burnley game were signs of improvement. But the fact that we've been 2-0 up against Bournemouth and let that slip, 2-0 up against Newcastle and let that slip, 2-0 up against Atletico Madrid now, and we've also let this one slip. It's a worry because I think going into future games, if we go 2-0 up, we're going to have a little bit of anxiety and be stressed thinking the other team's going to be capable of getting back into the game. Because that was a worry I've had for a long time with Liverpool. When the opposition team scores, I feel like we do sort of like drop back and sort of worry and become a worry because of our own mistakes. Um, but I mean, at the moment, whilst we're winning games, I guess it's not really too much of an issue, but it will become an issue should stuff like this happen against the bigger teams. At the moment, because we're getting the wins, I don't think there's too much attention being drawn to it. But that luck isn't going to be there every game. That luck will run out at some point, and that's when you're going to start to realize that our defense needs to be a lot more sharper and a lot more on point. And hopefully, in the games that we have coming up, they can show that, because the games don't get easy. We've got the Merseyside derby on Saturday, and then we're in Carabao Cup action next week. I'm assuming Carabao Cup game we'll see a lot of rotated members in the lineup. We'll probably see a bit of Giovanni Leone, see a bit of Bamadashvili. Um, and this sounds weird, but we're more than likely going to see a bit of Ekitike. Um, because, like I said, I do feel really sorry for Ekitike, because he's been bagging goals for us this whole season so far. But you can't bench a player like Isak, 108, 150 million on a player like that. You have to start the guy. And then the rotation idea of Gakpo being rotated, Gakpo is providing assists right now, and his performances seem to be on point. So it's a bit of a sticky one for Ekitike at the moment. But I'm hoping things work out for him, because he has been bagging and he seems to love the club. But I've seen a lot of fans going. I mean, I've seen loads of Liverpool fans and loads of rival fans laughing at the Isak performance, but I don't really know what anyone was expecting from Isak. Like, he's not been playing all season. He had a couple of minutes for Sweden in the international break, but he's not been playing any football. So I don't know what the expectation of him was. Like, yeah, fine, because of the price tag, you're expecting him to be, get going from the get-go, but he's gonna take some time. Like, we know he's proven, and he won't take as long to adapt to the system as maybe other players do. But he's nowhere near match fit, and that's probably the thing that's letting him down. He was taking pops here and there, left, right, and center, and he had, I think, 2 or 3 on target. So it's not like he's not shying away from taking the shot at goal. But it will take a little bit, and hopefully him having about 60 minutes against Atletico Madrid will help him, because I do think he will more than likely start against Everton on the weekend. And if he can announce himself on a game like that, brother, he's destined for big things at Liverpool. But 3-2, we take it. We take the 3 points again, but the defense needs to be looked at very, very much, because going 2-0 up and then losing the 2-0 lead is becoming a normal thing for Liverpool, and that is a worry. So 3-2, we take it. We go on to the next one, which is the Merseyside derby, and then I'll catch you for the pre-match ones on that. If you agree with anything I've said, then let me know. If you disagree with anything I've said, then let me know in the comments down below, and I'll try getting back to you. But as always, thank you for supporting your boy. Hit the star, hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button, and I'll catch you probably tomorrow for my preview on the Everton game. Peace.